Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to this episode of Made with So Much Love. Muy bien, empecemos. Pues el tema de hoy es el amor propio. What is self-love? Let's talk about that. A lot of people think it's selfish, gets confused, and that's very sad. Why? Because it's not. It's actually the only way that you can give love to others. Have you ever seen, for example, in the airplanes, they say that you should put your own mask of air in case like you lost compression. They say put your air mask first. And I know that, I mean, even in all traditions, right, the spirituality or most of them, it's the greatest thing is always to put the other one first. And that is true. When you are already a Buddha, when you're already like in a high level of awakening, if you are truly developed. But for most of us, for most of ordinary beings, we try to give and give and give and give and give and give and it didn't really like got stuck. We just keep giving and giving. But then because we haven't given love to ourselves, because we have never put the time to get to know what boundaries are, what is to actually take care of yourself first, then we have no idea of what it is to live good. And the moment you start to get to know yourself, to see what you like, what you don't, the moment that you understand that it's okay to say no, you're allowed to say no to whatever it is that you don't like. You don't have to go anywhere if you don't want. You don't have to do anything if you don't want. The only way that you're gonna love what you do is if you do it from your heart, if you actually wanna do it. And then it'll nurture you, then you'll have fun, then it'll be good. Then like you bring joy to the whole the group or the partner or whatever it is that you're attending or doing, because you are happy. And it's all about being. It's not really about doing anything. It's about being you, being honest, being in love with yourself. And when you do, then your cup is so full, it's so abundant that it overflows and you have love and joy to give to others. So practical terms, what is the way that you can love yourself? Can I give yourself flowers like the song? You could if you love flowers. It's a great way. Buying plants and putting them in your surroundings and around, and even planting them. So it's so much nicer if you have that patience and that love and that attraction to planting seeds and seeing them grow. I was just doing this silly video the other day of these berry trees that are growing off of this sticks that I just cut with my friend. We were, making history stronger, and we cut some of the, normal clippings that you do through the season, and I just wrap them and put some, root powder, that rooting powder. I can't remember the name right now. That is just basically you stick the little cutting in the powder and then you just plant it, and that's it. That's all you do. And nature takes care of it. But obviously you gotta have faith, because through the winter it doesn't look like nothing is happening. And it looks like you just like an idiot with a bunch of sticks and pots. Like, Okay. But you know what that is. And eventually it starts blooming. And you start seeing the little sprouts and the life and the green comes and then the leaves. And if you keep doing it, like eventually it will give you fruits. And that's everything in life. And so self love is like that. You take a day off, for example, and you do something that you don't usually allow yourself to do because you're always busy. Oh, I don't have time, I don't have money, whatever. Make yourself time. Spend the money. You have it. You can spend it on other stuff. You can spend it on yourself as well. Buy yourself a nice shirt, some nice shoes, go to nature. If you have 3 nice shirts and 2 pants that you love, you can just wear them all the time. Now, of course, you gotta wash them, right? But the point is, rather than having 50 pants that suck and 72 shirts that you don't really like, well, why are you doing that? I mean, just love yourself. Get something you really like, you really enjoy. And same thing with sleep and exercise and good food and prayer or spiritual community. That's all self-love. Get good friends. Like if you have friends and they make you feel bad or they tell you comments that are, some people say, oh yeah, that's the way I am. Oh, I like black humor. Okay, well, that's you. Get away from me. I don't do humor like that. And you don't have to participate. Like, that's the way other people are. Like, let them be. The best way to do is just love them as they are, but you don't have to go and have a bunch of friends that are like that. Surround yourself with people that love you, that want the best for you. Because you are, on average, the 5 people that you hang out the most. So it's super important to keep those boundaries and just allow the people that you really want in your life. Because that's the people you gonna go and have experiences and travel with and, come and share. So self-love has a lot of layers too, but it all begins in your head and what you think. So most important is you can look at the mirror and say, I love you, man. I love you, girl. You're such a beautiful person. You're the most amazing being. Like, if you become your best friend, then you don't need to have a friend. But then when you're your best friend, like, you have like the best friends around because your energy is so amazing that it's very attractive and magnetic, and you attract people that you can share it with. That's just the way things work. Like attracts like. And love is the most powerful shield, is like the most powerful energy, is the most of everything, So if you cultivate love, if you literally, I remember having received this particular teaching on how to generate love, because then you're like, okay, well, how do I generate the love? And His Holiness Jetsun Rinpoche came to Chicago this one time, and this teaching was so life-changing for me, which I'll very briefly just share here, but I would advise you just Google his name and get the teachings from himself so you get the real transmission. So he said, have you ever had a puppy? At that point, actually, I had just had this girlfriend who brought me back into loving puppies. At some point in my life, I closed off to that puppy love, the dog love, because some of my dogs died, basically, and I was a kid, and I kind of just closed that, and I was like, I don't want to be hurt by that anymore. But life doesn't work like that, and it brings what is necessary at whatever point is needed. And so this precious partner brought Stella, this little puppy. And it just opened my heart like nothing had before. This is this very special love. Like I even would take her to work with me. I was a massage therapist at that time, and as my therapy dog, and everybody loved her. And it was like just this fountain of love when I would think of her, and I would see her and I'd go outside and take her, little walks or whatever. So he said, if you ever had a puppy, so check mark, go into your life. If you didn't had a puppy, then you might have something that you love, like a baby somewhere, in your family, or that, like, let's say when my niece was born, it's like a fountain of love when I put that little baby on my chest, right? So find that which you can identify that love, and it has to be visceral, it has to be in the body, you have to be feeling it in the body. Once you clearly can bring that feeling, then you sit down, spine straight, take a few deep breaths, and you bring that image, you bring that situation, you bring that into your mind till you feel it in your body, that love. And then you start expanding it to the people that are the most close to you, the people you love the most, like if it's your mom, your dad, your partner, your uncle, your niece, whatever. You hold that feeling and you think of them and you see how much you love. You feel it. And you're gonna keep working on this, whatever minutes. And if you do it a practice, then your heart starts to expand. And as your heart expands, then you also bring people that you don't really know, but you could maybe know. Like there's people, for example, you see on a constant basis, like the cashiers in the stores you frequent, or the people at the gym you go, or your teachers at school, the bus drivers, the people that clean, beautiful people, by the way. Where would we be if there was no custodians? I've always admired them so much. And to all these people, then you also expound this love. You meditate first on that which brings you the most love, and then the loved ones close to your heart, and those people around you that you see but you don't really know. And then at the end, or like when your heart is really able to grow to a point that it don't matter if you see people doing negative things, like the people that create terror and war and all these things that you would say, I would never love this person, but you bring them because they're part of humanity, and as part of humanity they're part of you and part of everything. And just like the shadow needs to be integrated in your own mind, also these beings need to be integrated into our heart, to everybody's, because nobody is separate from anything and anyone. So you love them as well and integrate them. And this is how you cultivate love. This is a sacred Tibetan teaching which I've received and I'm re-sharing with you. And again, the best is you go and you see it from the source, like some of those teachers, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Gachin Rinpoche, His Eminence, Chetan Rinpoche, all of them, His Holiness, they are the ones who hold this lineage. And I, by any means, say I'm a teacher of any sort, or like a expounder of like these things, but these teachings have changed my life. as an ordinary human being that, goes to work, washes his clothes and dishes, but has a very satisfying life, very meaningful life that definitely matters for me, at least, and it's what all really matters, that it matters to you, because the world would reflect you back. Just treat it crappy and see what life will give you. But, act from the heart and love it, and it will love you many times back. Así que mis amigos, amigas, a beautiful human family, thank you for being here. And if I did any mistake during this, it's because I'm human, and that's what it's part of being human. Not everything is perfect, but it's better that I share something that just kept on my head. So may it be of benefit to all beings if there's any merit generated. So all beings have happiness, joy, freedom, health, wealth, and all the good things that life has to give to all of us.